Eikev, ideas in the realm of Gematria from the Parsha for the Geulah, which means for the redemption. This is Article 46. There is a method of calculation within Gematria called miloim, which means filled or filled in. And it is when you take a letter and spell it as a word, thus filled in. For example, the letter ayin would not just be one letter, ayin, but rather ayin spelled out as a word, ayin, yud, nun. Or you could even spell out even fuller, like ayin, yud, nun, and then nun is nun, vav, nun. And then and yud is yud, vav, daled, and then nun is nun, vav, nun. By employing this method, it broadens the spectrum of gematriatic possibilities and adds more colors to the gematriatic palette, so to speak. Using this miluim method of calculation, the name of our Parsha, which is Eikev, has a numerical value of 728 because ayin equals, like it's spelled, ayin yud nun is 130, and kuf is 186, spelled kuf of hey, and bet is 412, spelled bet yud taf. So 130 plus 186 plus 412 equals 728. Let's keep that number 728 in mind for the end of this idea. There is a verse, two verses actually, in this week's Torah portion that says, Al tomar bilvavcha b'hadof Hashem Elokecha otam milfanecha leibmor b'tzidkati evyani Hashem l'reshet et haaretz azot u'v'rishata goyim ha'ele Hashem morisha mipanecha. And when the Eternal, your God, has thrust them, when the Lord your God has thrust them from your path, do not say to yourselves, God has enabled us to possess this land because of our virtues. It is rather because of the wickedness of those nations that God is dispossessing them before you. Deuteronomy 9:4. And then it says, Lo b'tzidkacha u'v'yosher lovcha ata ba'al l'reshet et artzam ki b'rishat hagoyim ha'ela Hashem Elokecha morisha mipanecha u'lema'an hekim et hadavar asher nishba Hashem Elokecha l'Abraham l'Yitzchak u'Yaakov. It is not because of your righteousness and your straightness of heart that you will be able to possess their country, but it is because of their wickedness that the Lord your God is dispossessing those nations before you, and in order to fulfill the oath that God made to your fathers, Abraham, Isaac, and Jacob, Deuteronomy 9:5. If you look at both verses side by side, it may seem to be somewhat of a contradiction. On one hand, in the first verse it says, not to say that it is because of the wickedness of those nations that God is dispossessing them before you. And then in the very next verse it says, but it is because of their wickedness that the Lord your God is dispossessing the nations. So which one is it? Is it not because of their wickedness, or is it because of their wickedness? And one verse says, don't say it's because of their wickedness. And the next verse it says, but it's because of their wickedness. So what? So on the sheet, I underlined them both. If you look at Deuteronomy 9 verse 4 and 9 verse 5 side by side, and just see it. One says, do not say, I'm cutting to the main point, do not say that it's because of their wickedness. It also says because of your righteousness, but the focus is on their wickedness. But then the very next verse says, but it is because of their wickedness that God will drive them out. So which one is it? So the key idea here to answer this apparent contradiction are the words al tomar bilvavcha. Do not say in your heart. In other words, do not say to yourself. And this is the main idea throughout the Parsha of Eikev, seemingly more than any other Parsha, that there are several instances of talking to oneself. Don't say to oneself, do not say to yourself, lest you go astray. Or it says, don't say to yourself, don't say in your heart, lest you forget in your heart. Many, many instances of this. The answer here is that it may well indeed be because of the wickedness of the nations that are being driven out. But don't gloat about it. Don't go saying it's because of their wickedness. So that in that way, the two verses can be reconciled. Don't say in your heart it is because of their wickedness. Right, it's because of their wickedness, but you don't say it. It might be in the same idea of when we pour a little bit of the wine out at the Passover Seder. Just came to me right now. Because, after all, a creation of God was being killed. And we shouldn't be happy when that happens, even if they were wicked. We should not say to ourselves, thus puffing ourselves even over wicked, even though they're wicked nations. The words "do not say in your heart," al tomar belavcha, have a numerical value of 728. And the Malum numerical value of the name of our Parsha, which is Eikev, spelled Ayin Kuf Yud in the Maluim way, indeed has a numerical value of no less and no more than 728. Shabbat Shalom. Have a great Shabbos.